Hello, friends. Welcome to Pod Maverick After Dark. This is Kirk Henderson and Josh Bowe. We are joining you. Oh, goodness. It's about 10:15 here on Thursday night with Game 1 of the NBA Finals in the books, where the Dallas Mavericks got boat raced, 107-89. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing okay. You've had a pretty long day. What's your energy levels at? Are you angry? Are you into it? Or are you kind of worn out? I'm curious because we didn't talk a lot during the game.
I would say I'm just tired. I mean, you watch a first quarter, and granted, the chat probably doesn't care, but I drove to College Station back today and then went to a kids baseball game and stood out in that 95-degree heat for about an hour before the game. And then
wait, you drove to College Station and then did that after that? Oh, yeah. You're super dad.
Well, it's fun. It's fun watching the kid play baseball. I just have to share the story because I thought it was very funny. At my son's baseball game tonight, it's machine pitch, and we were playing at a softball, Berkner softball stadium. And the backstop is a lot further back than we're used to playing with. Machine pitch balls kept going by the poor catcher for the other team, and this poor kid wasn't very good at throwing. And 2 or 3 or 4 times he would go and get the ball and then try to throw it to the pitcher, only to beam one of our batter in the back. And I almost watched a pair of parents get into a fight over it because it was this poor kid shouldn't have been playing baseball. Oh, well, things happen. And, in a very similar vein, things happened to the Dallas Mavericks tonight where they were down 37-20 after the first quarter. And with the exception of about a 6-minute run in the third quarter, never really in the game. I mean, this was Salam in the chat says, please, please, please work on 3-point defense and closeouts. And Salam, if you listen to our preview show, that was that first quarter in particular, first half, and was essentially what Josh warned about. If you listen to the preview show, Hello, friends. Welcome to Pod Mavericks Group Therapy. I'm Kirk Henderson, editor-in-chief at Mavs Moneyball, and the person who does most of the podcasts for those of us at Pod Maverick. Thanks so much for hanging out. The Dallas Mavericks lost to the Boston Celtics 107-89. If you'd like to talk out your feelings, this is the show for you. As you guys may or may not remember, there is a link in the YouTube live stream where you can click into the show and join me like you'd join a Zoom call at work, all sorts of different things. And, I'm going to bring people up. Looks like we have 4 completely new guests, so we're going to go in order. But you guys will hang out here till we're done for the evening. Let's keep it a little bit snappy, but, I want you guys to talk through your frustrations here. Zach, welcome to the show. What's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up?
Man, I don't even know where to start with this game. I'll be quick, though. I'm looking at the stats. I'm like, When is the last time Luka had 1 assist, if ever?
Been many, many moons. I don't know. It maybe like there was like a Miami Heat game where he hurt his ankle in 2020, like 4 minutes into the game, like like something like that. That it's got to be such a statistical anomaly. The Celtics did a really good job sitting on all the Mavericks shooters, and then the Mavericks did a really good job missing every shot possible.
Oh man, they're saying Luka go to work and nobody else is gonna eat. And my friend was texting me during the game. He kept saying Kyrie's selling, and I was trying to defend him. I'm like, and then I was like, well, second half he'll get right, and then it never happened. I'm just like, oh man,
He's got to hit an open shot. Like he connected on some really difficult ones because he did finish 6 of 19, but then you go look at his 3-point shots and they were just all bricks, like real painful bricks.
Yeah, and dare I say we might need a THJ early.
No, never. I mean, he did play minutes this game.
He did. It just seemed like everybody else was scared to shoot. I mean, you mentioned Maxey. I mean, I took him to at least make 1 3 tonight. I guess that was a bad idea. And then, everybody just looked kind of timid. And, but I promise you, I'm taking the under on KP next game. He is not doing that again. And, that's pretty much all I have, man. I'm still Mavs in 6, but that was concerning.
Yeah. It's I picked the Mavs in 5, so this is very painful for my prediction.
I like it, though. I like it.
All right, you got anything else?
You know what? I'm gonna make it short. I'll see y'all next game. Hopefully, it'll be a better outcome. And go Mavs.
Thanks, man. Talk soon. All right. So last show, I, with like 60 guests, I made a comment where I was like, do we not have any women that listen to this show whatsoever? I have since been told by multiple women that they do, in fact, listen, but they don't want to get up on stage here on YouTube. But I do think we may have our first ever. So we're going to invite her up to the show. Shannon, what's up?
Hello.
Welcome. Tell us what you thought of that absolute travesty of a game.
Hey. I am a positive person, and they don't win a lot of first round games
ever.
And so when I was telling the people at the Outback Steakhouse where I was watching the game that they needed to be more positive, but it was what it was.
Do you want to hear a fun stat?
Yes.
So I heard at the end of the broadcast, right as they clicked to the after show, they said teams that win game 1 win 70% of the NBA finals. Now, here's the thing. The Dallas Mavericks are involved in 2 of the 30% in history because Dallas Mavericks went up 2-0 against the Miami Heat, lost the Miami Heat in 2006, and then they went down 0-1 to the Miami Heat in 2011, won that series. So I don't really have much stock in that stat, and I feel very, relatively positive. Let's get through game 2 and then see where we are.
For sure. Has anyone theorized that Porzingis was never actually injured and that he was just waiting for this game?
I love that theory, but I have also torn my meniscus, and it destroyed my leg for like 6 months. I mean, I think that what we, and I will never be able to prove this, but I think that both he and the Mavericks were never quite honest enough with how injured he was because he tore it in August in the bubble in 2020. Do you remember the NBA season started that December, like really soon, and the NBA players thought it was going to go because of COVID restrictions and stuff. They thought it was going to take another couple of months because no one was really ready to play. So, Porzingis came back in January, but he was not right. He was, and so I just really don't think he ever really recovered. So, do you mean Alex points out? Do you mean his calf strain with the Celtics earlier? Do you mean the injury with the Mavericks? I'm sorry, Alex. That's a really good point.
I meant his current injury that he was like, I'm injured. I can't play these playoffs.
I like that theory. Like, just put him on the shelf until you need him.
The other folks at the Outback agreed.
I mean, he looked like he had never been injured, and
the woman next to me said, "He looks like he's an AI character playing."
Because everything was going in. I mean, it was like everything was coming up Porzingis. It was very painful. It was very painful for me. Oh, well, I'm sorry you had to endure that loss in public. I was just sitting by myself, like it was not fun watching that game by myself, like swearing to no one.
It was kind of fun to complain about it with others and enjoy it.
It is. I need to do that, but I was writing the game recap, and I can't take notes if I'm with other people because I just want to talk to everyone.
Blooming Onion helped.
I'm sure. Well, you got anything else for us?
Not really. Just I'm excited to be the first woman maybe to be on camera. But I listened
in like 2 years. You're the best. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Ben Jovi, what's up, friend?
What's up? You got me, Kirk?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I had some drinks at the corner bar with my Mavs fam. So I don't know. I'll try to stay on track here, but I didn't really have any specific points other than I don't feel like we have to change our game plan a whole lot, especially on defense. You know, I think guys will do better. I don't think Boston has any cards to play much differently. We know this is it. They do the same thing all the time. This is what they do. And obviously Kyrie no-showed, and for whatever, I don't know, what can you do about that?
Yep.
But I think, the KP thing, I just don't see him. I mean, because he didn't flame out in the second half either. Like it was really the first half. I mean, it just destroyed us. Like you said, all the 50-50 balls, we missed a lot of chippies, every little bounce this way or that it's not like we weren't hustling. We just didn't get them. And I just don't really feel like, because of, we obviously shot like trash from three. Luka played well, but not like amazing. Carried the team to, still a loss. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. A couple more threes. We had open threes, many open threes, especially Kyrie. Like you said, 4 out of 5 of those were wide open.
I mean, I'm scroll back and take a look at this. So
I think I just feel like everybody's like, oh, just do this, do that, change it up. I don't think we have to do that. I just, we can make small changes, like just have Maxey shoot more when he gets those open looks, like little stuff like that. And then defensively, we'll just have the experience of game one to build on. I just don't think there's any reason to panic after this kind of loss, considering it wasn't that much different than like the game one losses we had against the Clippers or the Thunder in terms of us still sort of coming back and showing that, like, we can play competitive with this team. We just, for whatever reason, we got up to such a terrible start.
Second PJ foul really threw things for a loop. They had to go to Green. They had to go to Green early, and Green is. I think this is going to be a series where he plays a lot, but I don't think he can. I think he plays because of necessity, but he's not like the Celtics have all these bigger forwards, and he just gets his ass kicked. Like Tatum is so much bigger than him. He's like, right. I don't really understand what they want him to do. And that's where it's like PJ getting, touch fouls. It's like, dude, don't do that. Don't do that thing.
And when he's not smart enough, like when the energy's up and he's in transition, to like not try to dunk over KP, like just give him a little hitch. There was nobody else around. If he just sort of one little hezzy step, he's got a layup. Like you can do that, Josh Green. You can, and I think a different dude with that ball in that situation would have done that. But I don't know, man. Obviously, it's not like I'm like, yay, we're gonna win the series. Yeah. But I don't feel like it's so dramatically bad because they. I've been saying if Boston can shoot 39, 40% from the series, then we're probably cooked.
Well, you get to so I'm looking at in the game log, and this is kind of where just everything went awry. And maybe even if it hadn't gone this way, maybe the Mavericks still would have lost. But things went from like really interesting, where the Mavericks are down 72-64. Celtics call timeout. The Mavericks come back in, and they. Let's see here. What happens? Porzingis or Brown or Jason Tatum misses one of his many shots. Lively gets the rebound and then travels in that sort of like scrum where he knocked
Yeah.
Porzingis on his ass. That was
tough
one
play.
turnover that was maddening. And then he immediately fouls Jaylen Brown. Brown makes 1 of 2.
That was right at the point where we had gotten it down to 8, right?
Yes. And so like Brown makes 1 of 2 free throws. The Mavericks are down 9. Luka gets the board off of the second miss. He passes to Kyrie. Kyrie makes this crazy shot in the middle of the key, but they called him for traveling, and it was traveling.
Absolutely.
Then they come back down. Porzingis misses a 27-footer. The Maverick, and it was one of those classic Porzingis misses where the ball comes off the rim so hard it might as well have been a turnover. And
right.
And then he like I think Tatum, Tatum gets the rebound and finds him for a dunk. And then this is so the Mavericks are down 11 at this point, and this is where things went absolutely to hell. Irving misses a wide open 3-pointer.
Right.
Pull up
Another
3-point jump shot. Yeah, one of his many. And then Lively picks up his 5th foul, I think, at this point. And then all of a sudden the Celtics are off to the races. And that was like when the game went sideways very quickly. So
yeah, and I think Luka will find more ways to try to get some of their guys in foul trouble. And so maybe we can flip that.
But I don't know if you see, anytime Luka tries to hunt fouls in this kind of situation, meaning these big playoff games, I don't think it works out for him. I think he just needs to play the game and attack the rim, and he gets the fouls he's going to get, Yeah.
Well, I agree. He definitely did some of that. Right. I don't think he should try to push on that, but he can do it, and he did it in this game.
Sure.
And I just think I don't think he did it in the first half though. The second half's really where he went down to the post. Or did those several driving layups like that. But so yeah, I'm just not super worried. They look like I expected them to look, the Celtics, So I'm not, and I just know that we have a lot more. And I mean, look, you look at the threes. Well, I don't know what the total was. Was it like 7 of 20?
Yeah, 7 of 20. They shot 25% from threes. Horrible.
Look, if we make 3 or 4 more, Kyrie hits a couple more of those 2s. This is a much different game, and then we missed so many chippies, many chippy little like rolling off the rim, So the game bounces go this way and that, and there was a lot of that in this game. So I don't feel so bad about the defensive effort, especially offense. We definitely got to do some different things.
Yeah, I'm much more frustrated with the offense. All right, man. Thanks so much for joining.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, coming up next is my guy EJ. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Kirk?
I am sleepy.
Yeah, me too, brother. Yeah, I just wanted to come up and say, like I texted you. Well, I totally forgot you were going to be on the podcast.
That's okay. We make content out of our text messages. That's for the best.
It's I think it's a rhythm thing, right? Like Luka's really the only one that had sort of a good rhythm, and like having that long layoff after back-to-back series where they get 2 days, 3 days rest in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just kind of lost a little bit of focus. And yeah, and again, TD Garden is a heck of a place to try to eke out a win. I mean,
one of the Mavs Moneyball guys, Jordan, had the theory that like Luka, like long layoffs, Luka looks rusty after long layoffs, whereas everybody else looks rested. And he got into the game once he got banged up. Like once he gets hit, it's almost like he's a running back who needs to be hit a couple of times before he starts to go. So
he needs to get warmed up.
A little bit.
Yeah, like the guys have said before, a lot of just wide open shots and chippies that didn't go our way. Those are going to come. Like I'm just as usually the guy that is, yelling at the TV or panicking in these situations, but like game ones just don't usually go our way. It went our way against Minnesota because they were gassed and they were just built to beat Denver and not really anyone else. But I think I'm still feeling good, especially since we dug out of that 29 point deficit.
Yep.
back to 8. That's super encouraging. It's just, those silly turnovers, back-to-back traveling, that really just killed our momentum. So
Sure.
yeah, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you joining, man. Talk soon. All right.
Yep. Go Mavs.
All right. Sarah in the chat asked an interesting question where she said, I don't know what happened with Luka and Kai in the second half. Well, Kai wasn't around for the entire game. That's fair enough. But Luka, he gets those 27 points off that made three at about the 4:30 mark. And then he only scores 3 more points the rest of the game. He missed a number of makeable shots. This is kind of the answer, but he was at least taking them. But yeah, that's part of it. All right, we got Sudar Shan, and then we're going to finish out with Dylan, and then we'll go about our merry way. Morning, how are you?
Hey, rough morning.
Yeah. What'd you think? Did you get to watch the game?
I did. I mean, I was up early because actually I was a little wired, so I figured I might as well get a little early work in.
Sure.
But yeah, I think the first 6 minutes were okay, and then I think everyone then decided, you know what, we're doing okay. Let's just do our own bullshit.
Yep.
And I think that was about the time when Porzingis checked in.
Yep.
I don't know what it is about everyone that made it's like they wanted to prove that they could dunk all over Porzingis or something like that, which was ridiculous, and it just got the entire crowd into it. Who were already into it in some sense, but it really got them going. And then he started hitting shots, and then it was like, oh my God, we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah.
And that was everyone. And that's actually when you would expect your leaders to chime in, but then Kyrie Irving, basically, we need to put an MIA out on.
He was not around this game, that's for certain.
No, and actually, I'm actually looking for asshole Kyrie to show up at some point. We need someone to call him out on this kumbaya bullshit. At some point, needs to sort of ease out. At some point, I think it's been pointed out that he's 0 for 11 in their last 11 games against Boston, and I don't know. I think he needs to be a little bit more assertive, like kind of like how he was in Game 1 against Minnesota when you heard Anthony Edwards say, "I got Kyrie," and then he was like, "Do you really?"
Right.
And this time it feels like he's trying to make peace with the fans in Boston. He's not going to get that.
I know.
There is no way he's ever going back to that place and not getting booed. So he might as well just be an asshole and own up to it.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's the usual. We're back to normal. We lose Game 1 in embarrassing fashion. So let's hope that being back to the normal actually pays off going forward.
Man, we'll see. We'll see. I hope so. It's Sunday, 2 days off, lots of time to look at tape, figure something out. Kids made great adjustments. We'll see where we go from here.
Yep.
All right,
anyway.
man.
I'm glad to hear your dog's cancer free.
Thanks. Yeah. It's been, he had a brain tumor removed a couple of years ago, which is, a weird thing to say about a dog, but we've been doing recheckups, and I got to drive all the way. I got to drive like 300, I guess like 160 miles, both directions today. So it's real fun. So I'm ready to go to sleep. I'll tell you that much. All right. Well, we'll see you after Game 2, I hope. Okay.
Yes. Take care.
All right. Talk soon. All right, coming up last here is Dylan. What's going on, Dylan? Welcome to the show.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can. You sound good.
Cool. I will be brief because I know
good.
you've had a day. So I got my notes here. Talking about chippies that we missed. Just when PJ and Derek Jones Jr. drive to the rim, I have no confidence that something good is going to happen unless they dunk the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And watching, some of those chippies, I like when PJ goes flying down the lane recklessly and puts something up. I have no faith that's going in. I don't necessarily consider that a chippy,
Sure. The floaters that he puts up scare me, but they go in more often than they don't. And he's pretty good at following his own shot. But it's funny you say this because I actually said something to the effect of like this in the Mavs Moneyball Slack tonight, where I'm just like, man, watching PJ on offense is sometimes a very frustrating situation. Even though, he did finish, I think he hit 5 2-pointers and he missed all his 3. So he was like 5 of 8 from 2, which is not bad. Certainly,
it's
good.
Good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the box score will indicate that, but watching the game, there's a few times going down the lane where it's just
Right.
Also, I have a question for you. Did Derek Jones Jr. He made that three like right off the bat, first minute of the game?
He made one more shot the rest of the game.
That's that's what I was worried about. Did he take? Was it a three?
It was a 2. It was like a floater that he actually got to fall.
I don't even remember him taking another three, which is just
Right.
frustrating. That's
Right.
just so frustrating. But I think in general, I'm not as pessimistic as what it seems like a lot of people might be. This was a game one. We did this. We've done this before. We did this against the Thunder and the Clippers, and go back and in
Sure.
time memoriam, we just have. This is what we
the
do.
Mavericks have traditionally gotten shelled in almost every game one that they've played in all these series. Like Kid in under Kid for sure, but even going back before Kid when they played with Carlisle, like when they're not at home, they almost they lose game one. It's just it's sort of a thing, and if you want to take some sauce and say, all right, this is kind of what happens, they get beat by they were down by 25 points to both the Clippers and the Thunder. And so you can, if you want to look, there's not like silver lining for getting the crap kicked out of you, only to say that like, well, we've had this happen before, and then they come back in game 2. So this is important.
Right. And I would like to note that in the history of the Mavericks, when we win game 1 of the finals, we're 0-1. And when we lose game 1 of the finals, we're 1-0.
That's right.
So
That's right. I
yeah.
like that.
So and then I one last thing for you. I just wanted to talk about Kyrie throwing the ball 10 feet behind Maxi Kleber out of bounds. That was to me was like might have been the dagger. That's just like, oh my God. Oh, what are we doing? So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. I appreciate everything you do. You're dedicated as hell, and I love that. So
nothing like routine, man. Well, I like that jersey you got on, and hopefully we'll come back for game 2. Okay.
Absolutely. I'll be here. I'll hop on again when we win.
All right. Dylan, have a good rest of your week, okay?
You too, Kirk. Take care, man.
We got one more joiner. We have Sam. Sam, what's up, man?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up?
All right, yeah. Just left the bar, and I don't want to say I drunk my sorrows away, because when you get your ass kicked, you kind of accept it. So
sure.
It is what it is. Everybody's pretty much talked about it. It's almost kind of like the game they had in Boston earlier in the year, where they were kind of getting dominated, but then they were able. I think they actually cut it to like 2 in that game, and then Boston just kicked it into overdrive, and then we just couldn't hit nothing, and we got blown out by like 30. So like this case is kind of the same thing. I mean, we cut it to 8. We got to stop. D-line had a turnover. KP throws up a bullshit 3, doesn't go in. They get an offensive rebound, Tatum hits a dunk, and then Kyrie travels, and that's kind of it. Nobody hit nothing. So
yep,
it's that was the game. I mean, well, that wasn't the game. The first quarter was really the game. I really wasn't expecting a KP kind of masterclass, to be honest. So
sure,
that really kind of threw me off. So
death by Porzingis is painful.
Yeah, I, to be honest, I think I thought the Mavs as well, because you haven't played in a month. You just don't think, oh, he's coming off the bench too, so he might be rested, he might be a little off, but he started hitting haymakers and we weren't able to stand up. So I would say this: after the first quarter, I mean, for the most part, we played okay. I mean, it's not we outscored them by like 5. I mean, if that means anything. So it wasn't like we can hold our heads heads high on that, but. Other than that, I mean, hey, we suck in game 1, so I'm gonna chalk it off to that. And I have to give Kid the benefit of the doubt, because he has made adjustments in every playoff series. So I don't know if we really need to make an adjustment per se. We just gotta hit shots. Like if Kyrie hits,
that'll help.
He hits half of his 30s.
The game feels different. Sure.
Yeah, we still might lose, but it won't. You won't feel like you're down by 15 to 20 most of the game. So
I
take our medicine on in game 2, and if the same thing happens in game 2, we might be in trouble. But everybody says it's the first to 4, it's not the first to 1 or 2. So just gotta see what happens.
All right, we'll talk soon. Okay.
Have a good night, man.
All right. All right, CJ, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hey, Kirk, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. You sound great, actually. What's going on?
Cool. Yeah, I'm just letting my dog out do her business as I listen to the stream here. Been in and out, but I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think of like, I don't know. Is there any coverage? Is there any way that we can, I don't know, try to take care of these threes, these corner threes that Derek White was killing us for? I know we didn't get our screen and rolls kind of going since they switch, but I guess when it comes to options, I'm just like, I can't think of anything that could kind of work for defending that and for getting our at least a little bit of our offensive bread and butter. You know what I mean?
I mean, there were some really, like, the Mavericks tried to push with people that aren't really particularly good at pushing the ball. There were some really sloppy instances of things happening in the game that I don't know how often these things actually work for the Mavericks. Like, there was the Josh Green attempted a dunk at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah,
There
just
were
either, little floater, lay it up, or
yeah, he took like a
something,
mid-range. Yeah, and so I think, I want the Mavericks to push in transition, but it's got to be Kyrie, PJ, or Luka led.
Yes.
And so that's part of it for me, not Josh Green. I don't even mind the occasional Jaden Hardy thing, but like the Jaden Hardy attempts work both for and against you, depending on the situation.
Right.
So
yeah. With the
it's
James
like
Hardy piece, it's like we're at that point where we're gonna exchange. I mean, we had maybe 3 minutes, just 5 minutes of Tim. I imagine Kid's gonna go back to Exum at some point, but like, come on, like, I mean, what what really can? Yeah, all those three players have their limitations, right? They have their shortcomings, right? But they have the little bit that they can give you. But I don't know if we're gonna outrun, the Derek Whites, the Jaylen Browns, the Tatums, and Drews, So
yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you just got to have like the shooting variance stuff can sometimes work against and for you.
We need a fucking board, man. Like that
yeah, the
that
long
first
rebounds
quarter,
killed Dallas.
5 offensive rebounds. I'm sitting here.
Well, like 4 of them were in one possession. They were lucky that the Celtics didn't hit any of those shots.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's frustrating early on. I mean, they're not. Let's see. I guess I'll say reluctantly, they're not that bigger than us with PJ and Gafford out there.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a big moment. It's a big game one halfway through the first and that possession that we're talking about here. Yeah. But yeah, you guys have kind of hit the nail on the head, board a little bit more. The shooting anomalies, if we can call them that, may not necessarily be there in the next couple of games. I love the KP Luka moments. It's the Boston crowd, and I personally feel how I feel about the Boston crowd. But yeah, they were getting into it whenever they were. You want to see that. Those are the moments we're here for. Yeah, we can kind of be a little, we can have our little post-game blues, but like we can see the silver lining here and there. Like it could be a long series, or this could go another direction, which we hope it doesn't. But I'm here for the ride, man. I just want to send that good energy to you guys as my dog. She's not peeing right now as she does her thing. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Of course. Hope you come back. Talk soon, CJ. Have a good one.
Peace.
I'm apparently a very bad host in that I didn't see these super chats that were in here, and they've been in here for a while. 7 Harry Lime says suggested game plan for game 2. Each player goes 1-on-1 and tries to dunk on the 7'3" guy. It's pretty good, man. Chas says bad foul calls on Lively on comeback attempt hurt the Mavericks' momentum. Refs didn't allow the Mavericks to play defense. I think there's a little something to that. The Mavericks have been getting away with a lot of physicality, but I thought it evened out in the end of the game. It is what it is. The Mavericks don't get down by 29 points is my main thought. And then PC says we played in the refs not calling fouls. The Celtics threes equals sad face. Yes, lots of Celtics threes equals sad face for sure. So sorry for not calling out those super chats earlier. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll be back on Sunday night. I may try to record with somebody else tomorrow just to kind of fill the gaps in the schedule since we have time, but we'll never see. I don't really know. what all I'm going to be able to get done because I got, real work to do. Everybody be good. Have a better end of your week, and we will see you guys on Sunday night. Go Mavs.